Are Fred and George responsible for Ron making the Gryffindor Quidditch team? Hey, brother! Good long hey brother today. Yo, let's talk some Quidditch, shall we? It's one of my absolute favorite parts of the series, really falling squarely into the sentiment that sports are the most important, unimportant thing. Harry spends his whole life in an ongoing battle with the greatest dark wizard of all time, has to shoulder the burden of an older wizard at a young age, and constantly save the school from its biggest threats. It's a lot of work. But then there's Quidditch, something that brings Harry immeasurable joy. It's the thing that he really gets to do that, one, he excels at, and two, is just for fun, the love of the game. A rare break, if you will, in Harry's life of mysteries and schoolwork. Harry is never really regarded as the ultimate student or anything. He was uncommonly good in every class, and that's how he ultimately rises to fight the dark arts. You've got Hermione for that, you know?
Stop.
But Quidditch is his thing.
You must be the youngest Quidditch player in a century.
According to McClaggen. And as usual, things done for pure joy and spirit and fun tend to aid Harry in his fight against the dark arts in unforeseen ways. And Quidditch is no different. It's a skill of Harry's that goes so far beyond his time on the pitch. Flying a broomstick is the first thing he thinks of when he's trying to cast a Patronus. Harry casts his mind about for a happy memory. Certainly nothing that had happened to him at the Dursleys was going to do. Finally, he settled on the moment when he had first ridden a broomstick. And it's a vital detail in Voldemort's final moment. Harry, with the unerring skill of the Seeker, caught the wand in his free hand as Voldemort fell backward, arms splayed, the slit pupils of the scarlet eyes rolling upward. You guys think Harry went over and gave him a little swift kick just to make sure he was really for real gone? Because I do, but that's just me. What? That was for Cedric. Then Cho Chang cheers, yay, Harry! And then Ginny pops up out of nowhere. She's like, not my boyfriend, you! It's a weird scene. We defeated the Dark Lord, but now we're descending to petty fighting. Oh no. Anyway, start to finish, Quidditch matters. But if there is anything that matters even more to Harry, it's friendship. His incredible ties to Ron and Hermione and their combined camaraderie go even deeper. It's their faces that Harry can pull from the depths of his mind when facing down Dementors and Little Whinging. He was never going to see Ron and Hermione again, and their faces burst clearly into his mind as he fought for breath. Expecto Patronum! An enormous silver stag erupted from the tip of his wand. So today I want to bring these two concepts together a little bit, because we know the major role that both Harry and Hermione bring to Ron's Quidditch success, but it's not just them looking out for the youngest Weasley boy when it comes to his position between the hoops. Y'all, this one is a hoot. Today we explain how not Harry, not Hermione, but Fred and George are responsible for Ron's position on the Gryffindor Quidditch team. Okay, let's kick things off a little bit by reviewing everything we all already kind of know about Ron's quest to play Quidditch. Because you can only imagine what his new friendship with Harry must have felt like.
Ron Weasley.
This is a kid you just met on the train, who knows essentially nothing about magic, is already famous for having defeated the Dark Lord once, and has absolutely no idea who the Chudley Cannons even are. Chudley Cannons, boom, 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 we are not pirates.
Stop blowing holes in my ship!
And then you get to your first flying lesson, and Harry is all... Oh. And then there's you.
Oh.
I mean, that's gotta hurt. Emotionally. Hopefully he doesn't also go on to be the son his mother always wanted.
Harry, how wonderful to see you, dear.
And the hero, the girl you love, quietly adores. Guys, it's fine. Ron and Hermione end up together in the end, okay? No matter how much it goes against my wishes. Anyway, back to our timeline though. Harry shows up and out of nowhere, with no practice, is absolutely amazing at Quidditch and gets to be on the team with Ron's older brothers. No FOMO at all, I'm sure. Harry then spends 2 years being incredible before ultimately failing to be able to participate in his final games of the season. First, because he was saving the school. Second, because Hermione was petrified and the final game was canceled. And then Harry goes on to, save the school. Finally, though, it's Harry's third year. The team is rock solid as ever. Captain Oliver Wood is dialed in his pregame speech, and even though they lose to Cedric Diggory and Hufflepuff due to the Dementors, Gryffindor wins the Quidditch Cup. Hooray! And let's face it, both Ced and Hufflepuff needed that win. I don't know why yet, but they will. My boy! Year 4 then of course has no Quidditch because the movie didn't have enough budget to show us the Quidditch World Cup and also the Triwizard Tournament.
Did you put your name in the goblet of fire?
No, sir. But I swear, HBO, Quidditch World Cup. Whole episode. Be completely fine. Dedicated. Omnioculars. Vila. Leprechauns. Gold. Ludo Bagman. Top box. All of it. Winky! Hopefully nobody ever uses that piece of audio out of context from me ever. Anyway, at long last, it's year 5. Ron has been made prefect, and as a reward, subtly begins his campaign to try out for the team at the now vacant keeper position. Something that, from Ron's perspective, he's trying desperately to soft launch to Harry for chapters, and Harry will miss the cues like crazy. Like, for example, in divination, they're studying dreams, and they're both like, I don't know, I've got nothing. And then Ron's all, well, I had one that I was playing Quidditch the other night, said Ron, screwing up his face in an effort to remember. What do you reckon that means? To which I can only imagine he's being all like, hey, what you think, Harry? Good idea? Nah, maybe though. It reminds me of the kombucha girl who's like But then Harry, who's like preoccupied, is like, probably means you're going to be eaten by a giant marshmallow or something. And then Ron's all like, yeah, probably, that's probably it. Which, to be fair, Harry later describes Ron and Lavender's snogging as if they are eating each other's faces. So yeah, I guess Harry thinks of Lavender as a giant marshmallow, which I'm sure Lavender is not very happy about. What are you gonna do? But then later, Ron tries yet again to bring this up to Harry. Oh, I'd forgotten what had left, said Hermione vaguely, sitting down beside Ron and pulling a plate of toast towards her. I suppose that'll make quite a difference to the team. I suppose, said Harry, taking the bench opposite. He was a good keeper. Still, it won't hurt to have some new blood, will it? Said Ron. New blood, buddy old pal. That could be the ticket, right? Like, put in a good word for. But then Harry's all preoccupied with saving the world or dating Cedric's ex-girlfriend or something. I don't know. Boys. Am I right?
Boys.
Can't live with them. That's it.
It's all I live with, Ben. It's all I live with.
There are a lot of...
You don't live with any boys.
Do you know what is hidden in the school at this very moment, Mr. Potter?
Obviously, both Harry and Hermione eventually get with the program and go to pretty big lengths to ensure Ron's success. Harry pulls the classic placebo on Ron's pumpkin juice with the Felix Felicis in his 6th year, and Ron goes and plays the most lights out game ever. And then Harry goes on to save the world and date Ron's little sister. Harry really is a jock. I can't believe I'm just now seeing this.
I am the chosen one. Okay, sorry.
But before that happens, Ron has to do the virtual unthinkable and try out for a 2nd year in a row. Like, Harry never has to compete with anyone to keep his post, but after all, he's the chosen one, so, you know.
Okay, sorry.
But year 6 is a big one because Cormac McLaggen walks onto the pitch with his stupid chiseled jaw and his dumb tall frame and his ridiculous ability to catch a fly with his bare fingers.
I like my chances.
But fortunately, Hermione steps in here with a little razzle-dazzle herself and confunds Cormac into missing a save in what we can only describe as the most humiliating way possible. That one was wrong. My apologies. Here's Cormac. Man, he even looks cool when he's confounded. Like, what the heck? But the real question is, if Cormac is so good, why didn't he try out the year before? Well, we actually get an explanation from old hunk face himself. That's Cormac, but you knew that because, let's face it, you knew that. You didn't try out last year, did you? Asked Harry, taking note of the breadth of McClaggen and thinking that he would probably block all 3 goal hoops without even moving. I was in the hospital wing when they held the trial, said McClaggen, with something of a swagger. Ate a pound of doxy eggs for a bet. On the whole, this feels like a good way to introduce a new character, a problem for Ron, shatter his confidence, and contribute to his and Hermione's love rectangle. And forever, this is the belief I've operated under. It's not uncommon for characters to just show up way down the series as if they were always there.
Everyone, this is Luna Lovegood.
However, as much as Harry and Hermione, and let's face it, Draco, are pulling strings to ensure Ron's success on the pitch. Like, seriously, Draco, you're trying to humiliate Ron and you come up with the chant, Weasley is our king. Like, that is just destined to backfire. In the end, though, it is good old Fred and George, who haven't been missing Ron's cues at his interest in joining the team, no matter how worried Ron is about how they will react. I'm hiding from Fred and George, if you must know, said Ron. I thought I'd try out for Gryffindor Keep, but now I've got a decent broom. There, go on, laugh. Oh, that's good. That is good. I needed that today. Whew. They didn't laugh in real life, but I did just now. And I started by faking laughing, then I started really laughing because I thought it was being really funny. But you see, here's the thing. Fred and George are subtle creatures. Okay, subtle might not be the right word, but these two have definitely considered the possibility that Ron might want on the team, and here's the proof. Do you recall when everyone arrives at number 12 and they're decontaminating the drawing room, specifically a doxy-filled set of curtains? We know that Fred and George pocket a doxy to test their venom out for its magical properties. "Righto," Fred said brightly, spraying the doxy quickly in the face so that it fainted, but the moment Mrs. Weasley's back was turned, he pocketed it with a wink. Pocketed it. But then, here's the magic moment. The crew has spent half the day hard at work, Molly has sat on a bag of dead rats, and finally, unconscious doxies lay crammed in the bucket at the foot of them, beside a bowl of their black eggs, at which Crookshanks was now sniffing, and Fred and George were shooting covetous looks. A bowl full of doxy eggs, y'all. As in, the exact thing that Cormac will claim he ate a pound of on a bet a year ago. A year ago being just a couple of weeks from when they collect the doxy eggs. Fred and George tirelessly give Ron a hard time for his new prefix badge, but they don't miss the cue about his request for a new broomstick and the open position at keeper. And just because Harry, Ron, and Hermione never seem to notice Gryffindors that aren't, like central to the plot, it doesn't mean that Fred and George don't. And while Harry was busy carving lines in the back of his hand, Fred and George were busy making sure Cormac didn't get the opportunity to try out and best their brother at keeper. Harry and Hermione take big steps to ensure Ron's success on the pitch, but it all starts with the clever ploy from his older twin brothers.
How much for me?
5 galleons.
I'm your brother.
10 galleons.
Y'all, thank you as always so much for tuning into this week's episode. Be sure to like it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you'd like to see more Fred and George best moments ever, you can check out this video right over here. But otherwise, until next time, bye! Don't forget to eat cheese.